will upload this to YouTube so that you can have a YouTube link to send people off of Facebook. We're also live streaming it into our brand partners group. We do try to make everything super accessible to you wherever you are. And on behalf of Living Well Now, I'm Angela, part of our leadership squad, and we are super, super grateful that you're joining us for our Summer Hustle Kickoff, specifically because we have, am I frozen? Is it me? I'm the frozen one. Jerry, I'm totally frozen. Okay, now I'm restored. How's that? Better? Better? I'm restored. I have been restored. We may not be able to do Zoom in 2 separate rooms, sweetie.
I was not frozen while you were frozen, watching and hearing you yell from the basement, I'm frozen!
Well, that was a crazy introduction, but we're going to just skip on through that and just welcome you all to this call. If you do not have a piece of paper and a pencil or pen to take notes with, go grab that now. You are going to want to have that even if you're catching this on replay. I printed out some of Niccole's papers and handouts. I think those were super helpful. We're teachers by trade, Niccole, so we love like curriculum. That makes us all very happy to have worksheets. So we posted that a couple different times for y'all. You can go to the Google Drive and pop those down at your earliest convenience. I'm sure Niccole's going to give more information about how to use those while we chat tonight. By way of introduction, I'm just going to jump right into it. Andrea, we came up with this Summer Hustle Kickoff idea, and then I heard about Niccole teaching this to Team YL, this strategy for making the transition to the new platform that much more easy. And I'm super, super grateful. Some of you will remember Niccole from our 2020 Ignite event last February. She was out here doing her thing for all of us and gave some really, really great tips from the stage. Your pineapple t-shirt and your super cute shoes will never be forgotten. Fashion first. But your message, as always, and we have used Propel, one of your training manuals, a lot to show and teach people how to step by step do this business in an honorable and really quality, excellent sort of way. So thank you for leading out with your resources, materials, and speaking engagements that we've had you before. Plus, you're just a really cool mom because between the last time we were all together and now you added to your brood, am I right? So you're taking time out of some parenting to be with us, and we are really, really grateful for that. Y'all, without further ado, let's give a warm welcome in the chat and through your hand clapping for Niccole Perez. Thanks, Niccole.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me back. Yeah, I put it in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and say it again. Ignite last year was one of my top 3 highlights. And yes, I had a baby in 2020 and I went to Hawaii in 2020 before all the craziness started. So the fact that Ignite is right up there with those 2 events is huge. I know y'all know this, but you are so tremendously blessed to have the leadership team that y'all have. I was just in awe while I was in Arizona. Just the sense of community and sense of love and care and compassion. It just was so felt. It was like tangible in the air. So it was such a joy to be with y'all. And I am super excited to be here tonight because I am just beside myself with excitement and with passion. I'm going to be super transparent. If y'all know me, if you follow me, you know that's like my only way to be. I don't do well with fake and all of that. Like y'all pretty much always know what's on my mind. Just the way that I roll. I had lost quite a bit of passion in Young Living over the last several years and just felt like somehow I'd gotten away from the heart of Gary and Mary in the company. And I felt like I was really fighting for that, especially once Gary passed. I was like, man, like, how do we keep this legacy alive? How do we keep going forward? And when Young Living announced that we were getting rid of the premium starter kit, y'all, it was like happy sobs, like happy sobbing happening in my house. I screamed, I yelled for Brandon. I was trying to explain it to my 16-year-old son. He's like, what is going on with you? Is it hormones? hormones. I'm like, no. So y'all, as I began to map out and pulled out my notebook and began to write out, like, what does this look like? Because I'm a visionary. I see things like years down the road, and sometimes I have to backwards engineer a goal or backwards engineer a plan for it to all kind of like make sense and to figure out my next step and the direction I'm going. And as I did it and I began to write it all out, and I'm a huge fan of colored pens. Anybody else like have a freakish amount of colored pens? I mean, I'm like pulling out all my colored pens and color coding things. I'm like, okay, this is a resource in the making. Let's do this. So before we get started, I really, really want y'all, I love the chat feature. I love engaging in the chat feature. I would love for y'all to put in the chat 1 or 2, maybe even 3 things that you could talk about on the fly. No prep, no like hint that you're going to talk about it. And it cannot be Young Living related. So it cannot have to do with oils or supplements. So 2 or 3 things that you are passionate about. I mean, it could be how cute your kids are. Don't overthink this, my green friends. I love greens. Love you to death. Don't overthink this. All right. So what I'm going to share tonight is not about doing this business on social media. It's not about doing it in in-person classes. And it's not even about doing this business in one-on-ones. So what is it about? It is about helping you guys to see that you are about to experience so much freedom in this business. That this business is truly about freedom in every sense. It's about time freedom. It's about financial freedom, but it's also about freedom for you to fully express yourself. And I feel like historically we had a taste of it, right? We had little glimpses of it. And what we're about to experience in Young Living is like total freedom. And I know some of y'all are a little bit intimidated by that. You're like, I kind of like it. My blues are all shaking their head. They're like, no, girl, I love this. This is my jam. But some like reds and greens are like, ooh, okay. Like if you could just give me some bullets and give me like a launch pad, I can go from there. So that's what it's about. This new model is about you being able to pursue your passions and really being able to speak to your market, because I don't know about y'all, but the crew I run with, for the most part, we have like something in common, right? Like we have, maybe it's our kids in common, or maybe it's, oh gosh, I almost said a hot topic one. It's our, passion for medical freedom, or it's our faith, right? There's something that tethers us to the people in our lives. And when we hang out with those people, it just flows. And then what I've found in the last 7-8 years now of doing the business is that I've had to shoehorn a premium starter kit into some of these conversations. And that's really crappy for me to have to admit. I don't love that. That's not who I am, especially because, I'm just going to pull somebody's name out that I see right in front of me, Beth. So say Beth is sitting there talking to me about hormones, one of my passions, right? And I'm like, she's like, oh, hot flashes and up and down and, blood sugar cravings and all this. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know that she needs enzymes. She needs Life 9. She needs Progestins Plus. Fluorescence would probably be her BFF. But the best way for her to get started for finances is this premium starter kit. So then I'm like, okay, well, frankincense, peppermint, and I'm trying to figure out all the ways that this premium starter kit will serve her hormonal needs, because it's really the best value. So I'm not just doing it for my pocketbook, right? I am really thinking about Beth in this scenario. Well, what Young Living is handing us, y'all, is this whole beautiful model on this silver platter and saying, guess what? Now you get to go serve the Beths of the world. Now you get to go serve, the Julies of the world, the Carolines of the world, and really meet their needs first, while talking about the things that you're passionate about. So when you're at the park and, your friend's kid is talking about, like, or your friend is saying, oh, my kid has this rash and I don't know what's going on. And by the way, they're not pooping. And you're thinking gut issues. You can talk to that friend now about gut issues, right? So it's beautiful. It's amazing. And I am just so singing aside. So now that I've laid a little bit of a foundation, let's jump in. I gave y'all some worksheets that hopefully you've at least had a chance to look at. But if you haven't, no worries. I will sum it all up as we go, because it'll be helpful. So there's 2 ways that we can go about narrowing down what it is we're going to talk about going forward. Because when we have hundreds of products to talk about, and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I have to talk about them all, which is how I've historically felt, right? I have to be able to know about animals. I have to be able to know about hormones. I have to be able to know about men's issues, right? We don't have to do that to build a successful business. And we don't even have to figure out 42 ways to use Citrus Fresh anymore. Like, we can hone in on what we're passionate about. Some of y'all shared in the chat feature, some fitness, nutrition, kids, dogs, chiropractic. Oh, I love chiropractors. I should have been a chiropractor. Scrapbooking, weight loss, fitness in my 40s, faith, women's wellness, veterans, military, amazing. Mental health, cooking. There are some really big passions there. So the first way that we can approach this is this first worksheet, and hopefully y'all can make it out enough to see it. Across the top, it says know your passions. And I just listed categories across the top. So if you know what your passions are, go ahead and write a few of those things across the categories. And again, don't overthink this. If you're like, I just love talking about how cute my kids are. Awesome, that's a passion, put it in there. If it is military, put, military families in there. If it's dogs, if it's chiropractors, weight loss, whatever it might be, try to fill out all 5 categories across the top, okay? So the next section, you'll see some lines underneath there. I want you to quickly, like, I'm talking like, think fast, don't overthink it. What are the products that you would recommend? So say you're talking about how cute your kids are and you want to protect that precious little face of theirs, right? You're like, oh my gosh, this baby is so beautiful and I don't want her to have scars for the rest of her life or whatever it might be. That's kind of a lame example, but roll with me, okay? And you're like, okay, what would I use? Frankincense, animal sense ointment. Your kids are so cute. You want them healthy, whatever. You want these. Like, you're just jotting down the products that you use for your cute kids. Same thing for your dog. Same thing for fitness. What are your go-to products for fitness? Like, you're going to work out. Are you grabbing your Nitro? Are you grabbing Endoflex? Are you grabbing Peppermint? Is Amino Wise, a non-negotiable? You're just jotting it down. Don't think about what you think is the right answer or what would get the most sales. And I'm going to explain that in a second. I just want you to think about what you use, what you reach for the most often. Okay. So there's lots of room to jot down these ideas. Now, why is it important that you don't overanalyze it? Because when you're choosing the right answer, that's lame. The right answer does not stir up passion. It doesn't get you excited. If you're like, oh my gosh, Angela told me that Amino Wise is great, so I'm going to give that answer because it's so awesome. No. If you don't have a personal experience with it, if you're not like, oh my goodness, I'm running low, freak out moment, what happens if it doesn't come back in stock like tomorrow, then you're not really passionate about the product. When we're passionate about a product, all of a sudden we start like, hey, Cassie, guess what? You need Amino Wise. Like, you have to have it, girl. Your recovery is going to be like stellar. You're going to be back in the gym right away. And you're not thinking about a dollar amount, are you? You're just like, no, Cassie's my boo. She's my workout partner. She's my accountability partner. I'm meeting her at the gym. I need her at the gym, right? So you speak with authority, you speak with confidence, and you truly believe that anyone who's in your market, like whether they're at your gym or your playground with your kids, whatever, has to have this product, okay? So you're going to list out your products. Here's the other thing. You're probably going to see that there's a lot of crossover. Like, oh, I'm passionate about cooking and I'm passionate about my kids. So if I'm passionate about cooking, lavender is kind of a go-to because, pulling hot pans out of the oven, whatever, right? Y'all, I'm so full of lame examples. You're welcome. You are so very welcome for my lame examples. Okay. So you're going to have your list. And I'm going to show you mine. I was sending mine out for a while, but I don't want to do that anymore because y'all are brilliant and you can totally use your own ideas. So what I did, and you don't have to do this, I'm just a color coding queen. I chose 5 different things that I'm pretty passionate about. We have clean beauty, we have gut health, we have energy, we have hormones, and we have emotions, right? And underneath each category, I just listed out some products. Now that bottom section for crossovers is where all of those other products begin to fit into those other categories. So for example, when I'm talking about hormones, I only have 3 products up here that I'm like super passionate about, like with hormones, that I believe every person should have, right? Progestins Plus, Sclerosens, and Endoflex. Super passionate about those 3 products. But because I'm passionate about hormones, I also know that I can't talk about hormones and not talk about gut health. So I have gut health over here in a secondary in another category that I'm passionate about, right? So now underneath hormones, I also have Essential Zymes 4, Life 9, and Detox Zyme. And then under hormones, I can't talk about hormone health and not talk about clean beauty, because as women, when we slather toxins all over our face and our neck, those are our master hormone glands, and we're literally putting a toxic burden over our pituitary, over our thyroid. So I also have some clean beauty products underneath hormones as well. So you begin to see the overlap down here. So when I'm talking about hormones, I can have a secondary topic of clean beauty. So what this looks like, whether in person or online, of, hey friends, you know that I'm passionate about clean beauty. I can't talk about thyroid health and not talk about the face creams that we're using. Boom. I'm immediately connecting these topics of my passions in, and I'm not talking about 300 products. I'm talking about literally the same 10 to 15 products from this top section, because those are the products that I believe everyone needs to have, whether it's gut health or whether it is hormones or whether it's emotions, right? Because even underneath emotions, I still have essential zymes I have Life 9, I have detox zymes, because an unhealthy gut leads to unhealthy emotions, period. So there's tons and tons and tons of crossover. So I know I'm going quickly through this. I was given 30 minutes and I already talk fast. So watch the replay. Sorry. Okay. So you have a second printout. So we're on printout number 2, where now you'll see at the top, it says primaries and secondaries. What I want you all to do on that second worksheet is, you can see kind of my writing through it. Sorry. What you'll do is oh, awesome. Look at you. Yeah. Okay. So your primary topics are those topics that you're like, if I really had to narrow down my subjects, if I was like, okay, let me just shrink this in. And so for me, it is gut health, hormones, and emotion. Those are my 3. I am super passionate about those 3 things. But like y'all saw in my worksheet, I can easily bring in clean beauty and I can easily bring in energy. Because chances are, if you're struggling with up and down emotions, you're also lacking energy. If you're struggling with imbalanced hormones, you're also struggling with energy. If you are struggling with hormones, emotions, or gut health, you need to consider clean beauty. Am I making sense so far? Y'all still tracking with me on where I am, right? And so what I am now doing is I am taking those 2 to 3 subjects that are my primaries, and I am building my business off of that. Those are the things that I'm focusing on. Those are the things I'm hosting classes for, because if I'm passionate about it, chances are I've attracted people into my spheres of influence that are also passionate about those things. So for example, I'm be 39 next week, right? But because I have a newborn and a 16-year-old, I have a pretty diverse mom group, right? But almost all of my mom friends struggle with hormones. They are always seeking to keep their hormones in balance, right? Every single one of my friends struggles with emotions, right? That's just a common thread in my circle. And a lot of my friends struggle with gut health. That might not be your circle. Don't hear me saying because my mom friends are like this, and don't just take my answers as the easy button and say, oh, Niccole said this, and here are these products, and yep, I'm going to run with that. Because again, you need to choose the things you're passionate about, because it completely shifts your business. You'll maintain joy, you'll stay energized. And I've been teaching like this in California for the last 2 years since I've lived here, using the basic membership kit. And I'm telling y'all, it changes everything. And people keep coming back and they keep wanting to learn, because the conversation is navigated and directed by the people who are in the room with you. So it might be one day, young moms, 26, 27-year-old moms. And then following week, it might be about, teen hormones or whatever that might, wherever the conversation goes. So this model really does work well. The other bonus to this is that you're not left having to learn all the products, having to educate on all the products. You learn, 15 products well, and you can talk about them inside and out, right? You're like, I can tell you why Life 9 is a superior probiotic. I can tell you why Essential Zymes 4 is a superior product than what's on the market. I can tell you why our Super B is a superior product than what people can find in the store. I can't tell you why Agilis is, superior. I can't tell you why BLM or, some of the other, y'all can tell I haven't really worked out a whole lot in the last 2 years. Anyway, but my point being, all this pressure is not on me. And then what happens as a collective is, say Sharon is super passionate about, I don't know you, Sharon, sorry, but about horses and pets, right? And then, Carrie is super passionate about oils in the bedroom. Oh my gosh, I hope I'm not embarrassing you. And all of a sudden, everyone's bringing their topics to the team, and you don't have this pressure anymore of like, I have to know all the things, and people keep showing up and they're passionate and they're talking about these topics that they care about, and suddenly cross line, other people are listening, and it lifts this huge burden off of you. Okay. So lots of crossovers in that. You will have the countless people that I've walked through these worksheets. You will narrow it down to 12 to 15 products. You will. And what happens is your market begins to see these products on repeat, because it takes up to 7 points of exposure of a product for people to actually order it, right? So you don't want hundreds of products, because how many posts would you have to do in a day to keep the products that you love, even if it's 50 products, in front of people? This model narrows it down. It keeps these same products. It keeps Niccole Red in front of your market all day long, or, every 5 posts, however often you're posting. And it's like that repetition of, oh, wow, she talked about Niccole Red for energy. She talked about Niccole Red for gut health. She talked about Niccole Red for hormones. She talked about Niccole Red, for all the things. So it's keeping that in front of people all the time. You also become the person like, oh, wait, so-and-so knows a lot about hormones. I have a friend, or she knows a lot about, like, she's talking about emotions and I'm feeling really down. You become the point person, not for Young Living, though it is for Young Living, but for who you were created to be, your story. And that carries through like beyond any products. So I know I'm talking fast. We're moving right along. I have yet another worksheet for y'all. If you're like, I don't know my passions, I just don't know. I don't know that I can narrow it down. I've been raising babies for the last 15 years. And how much can I be passionate about? Maybe you came into Young Living because you wanted community and you wanted a sense of, belonging or whatever it might be. And so you're hearing like, I don't know my passions, Niccole. I have help for that too. I did the top 5 products by category worksheet, because I had several people come to me and say, Niccole, like, I've been so immersed in my career or whatever it's been, and I don't know how to do, I don't know how to find these passions. So here's this worksheet. And again, I want to encourage y'all to not just choose the right answer. So for like immune support, like, I know I should say inner defense, and I know I should say thieves, and probably even life 9, but man, from my own story, I know that if I'm taking care of my emotions, I stay pretty healthy. So I'm going to go with the non-obvious one of maybe frankincense and inner child, because when I am feeling more lighthearted and more playful, I'm not getting as sick as often, right? So again, this is about your story. These are your experiences. It's not the right answer. It's not what Young Living has put together. It's not the last class that your leadership team taught. It's your immediate answer to it. So, and you don't have to fill out all of these categories. I didn't. Like, I did this as an exercise because I don't release anything out there unless I do it myself. I didn't go through, honestly, some of these things. I'm not going to tell you which one of these, some of these things I just don't care about. Like, it's just not my thing. I don't care enough about it. I'm not going to waste my time. Whoops. True. But choose 3 or 4 things. You're like, man, based on our story, whether you came into Young Living for digestive issues, or focus for your kiddo, or focus for yourself, right? Or sleep. Choose a few stories from your family that you're like, oh man, yeah, I got my kit because my husband couldn't sleep, or he was super stressed out. And start there. Start with those topics and list out the products. And just use that as a mental like jogger or whatever, to be like, okay, these are the products that I care most about. These are the things that really matter to me. And I love that Andrea said that, like, or Angela said it, no need to be the expert. Yeah, like, this is not about being an expert. This is about telling our stories. If you heard my talk last year at Ignite, like, I'm just so passionate. Like, you have this ability through story and through connection to say, hey, person who's struggling with sleep, I've had that too. Let me connect you to a product. I tell my team all the time that we're connectors. We're not fixers. We're not solvers. We're connecting people to a product. We're connecting people to corporate, because I'm not corporate either. I don't deal with shipping issues, right? Like, I'm connecting people to their source to help people really, I hate the quote, but like truly live their best life, right? Like, hey, this is what you're called to do. This is the work you've been given to do on this earth. Let's do it to the best of our ability. And so as we're doing this, again, I cannot stress this enough, y'all. This is all about your passions. And when we're in that space and we're like, man, this is what I care about because my husband's sleep has been helped, or my kid is focusing, or for the first time in my life, I do feel more emotionally balanced, like through my hormonal cycles. And I want to help other people experience that. Like you get to like exist in that beautiful space of helping to connect people to products that will help them do that. And then I know that your leadership team has talked about this, but through myyl.com, we'll even be able to go and create bundles based on these things. So this is like, these are the worksheets to get you to the bundles on myyl.com. So we'll be able to send affiliate our links and say, hey, here are those top 5 or 6 products that I recommend. And here's what you can experience. And if you notice there's some overlap. So say like, very rarely do I have somebody come to me and only have one issue that they want to address. Like very rarely. Like normally it's like, I'm stressed, I'm not getting sleep. My kid's not focusing, I'm stressed. Like stress is obviously a huge one, right? Emotions are huge. And so you can give them a couple options and say, there's a lot of crossovers here. There's like the way, the freedom that you have to play and to share and to help people experience freedom is huge going forward. So I know 30 minutes, I came in under 30 minutes. If anyone has any questions about, is it okay if I open up for questions? Because I know I really went for it, y'all.
I think one of the, I posted it a couple times in our group, and then I posted it in the chat tonight where Niccole has given us a link to her Google Drive for the worksheets that she went over. I love that Brandy's got her crew together. I know some of you others are getting your crews together to do some brainstorming together. And sometimes when we ask people about their brand, right, sometimes the outsider can be more like, you're always talking about blah, 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 and you don't even realize it. So I think those are going to be some great strategies for you to use. We started doing a little brainstorming on our Friday morning call 2 weeks ago about this. And I think that was really fun to kind of just remember and think about different products that don't, initially come to mind. But one of the things I took away from what you said, Niccole, is that again, specifically your BLM, like, okay, so I guess that's a good one. Like I can talk all day long about AminoWise, but I'm not going to be able to recommend BLM or Agiles to somebody because it's not my wheelhouse. So really getting clear on what you are using and the testimonials that you have, the stories you have around those products are way, way more powerful than pointing them to somebody else. So I love that. I love, Jerry, thank you for saying brand storming. That's super fun. Brand storming. And MyYL is going to make this easier. I've already seen kits out there from people with the basic starter kit. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Niccole, that the last couple of years you've been promoting that, because it's not a huge investment for somebody to start with the kit, the basic kit, and then add on these products. And Jerry and I were looking at MyYL a couple of weeks ago, and you can actually recommend products for Essential Rewards. So you can have an initial product bundle and then what's next for your customer. So that's a really cool thing to help them set up with that 3-month wellness plan. Cassie Rathbun, I saw you posted that in the chat as well. So y'all, what questions do you have for Niccole while we have her on tonight? And then Andrea, I'll let you moderate this and then transition us out. Niccole, thank you so very much for joining us. And I know there are probably some folks that have a few questions, so we'll just open that up.
I don't have a question so much as just a comment. Thank you for your insight on all of this. I think it's super great so far. I also wanted to kind of throw in there that I'm kind of doing this with, I have new people that have just jumped into the business. So they're new and they don't know a whole lot. And so they seem to be the ones that are most intimidated by this change because they just don't know enough about the product yet. That's how they feel. So I'm wondering your insight on that, just by honing in on, I love your 10 to 15 products, just learn about those. So I'm loving that, but I'm also giving them the pattern of finding those categories of products for $100 mark, the $190 mark, the $250 mark, and the $300 mark, maybe for those particular things. Would you think about those as well for those promo marks or no?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I love about this model and how I've taught in California is it wasn't ever about the 100 or 190 or 250 or 300 for us. One of the big things that I tell my people to do is, what's your budget? And oftentimes people's budget's actually way bigger than what we would have even limited them to, even with promos. And so when somebody's desperate, like, y'all, there's so many break off teachings from here that goodness, not enough time. But when I'm teaching with somebody or I'm talking with somebody one-on-one, I will ask them on a scale from 1 to 10, how much do you want to overcome this, or how badly do you want to move past this? And if they're at a 10, that's a bigger gauge for me than budget. If they're saying that they're at a 10, you better believe, I mean, we're racking up a $400, $500, order because they're desperate. And that's not for like the upsell. It's like, if a mama's coming to me, she's like, Niccole, I'm desperate. Like my kid has like horrible gut issues, skin issues. I'm like, all right, we're hitting this hard. If you're saying that you're desperate, we're doing, the probiotics, we're doing the enzymes, we're doing Ningxia Red, because with a clear conscience, I can't be a pharmacist. I'm not going to say, oh, just put some lavender on their skin and it's going to be better, and treat a symptom or talk about a symptoms. We are a lifestyle company, right? And so I've never held back from being a truly lifestyle company. When I was with y'all last year, we had already had the brochures made, and I'm planning on releasing it as a free PDF to go to your question, Carrie, about what it looks like for a new member. With those brochures that we have, I have seen tremendous confidence with my new builders. So what it looks like is we have like PDFs, and we're like, okay, if you're talking about sleep, right? Here's some like oils of sleep. Here's some supplements, and here's some lifestyle options for you. And because I have it bulleted, and then, recommending a book like The Essentials, which is like a lifestyle, like get started book, right? My new builders have felt really confident. Like if I bring The Essentials with me to this one-on-one meeting and there's a table of contents, I can say like, okay, sleep. We can talk about Tranquil. We can talk about Life 9. We can talk about these lifestyle options because it's in the book. And so they are my crew in California before 2020, or before COVID hit. I started at 0 PV here in California, brand new market, and like my team was at 4,000 in a brand new leg, just doing this model, y'all. New builders coming by, like, can we get brochures? Can we do this? And so, not that you need the brochures, but do y'all teach the wellness triangle, with the supplements and? Oh, there you go. Okay. So the wellness triangle is a huge, like this is the only way that I teach, because I don't believe that we can just tell people, like I said, oh, use this oil or take this one supplement for a week and you're going to be better. We have to talk about lifestyle. We have to talk about supplements. We have to talk about ditch and switch, and we have to talk about oils, right? And so the more we can, talk about these things as a lifestyle thing, the less salesy we sound. So like, wait a second, Niccole, like you lead out with all of these things. Yes, because I'm not going to tell somebody that, 2 drops of Digize is going to fix their celiac child. Like that's cruel and that's skeezy and slimy and nasty. But what I am going to talk about is, how the toxic overload and all those things affect them. So all that to say, a great lifestyle book. It doesn't have to be mine. Aaron Rodgers has a great one as well. I am so team Young Living, y'all. Find a resource that you can comfortably navigate with people. If it's one of Aaron's simple books, or if it's The Essentials, and really teach your new members, to use that and to navigate it well, and it will duplicate very, very quickly without you being in the picture, which is always fantastic. So.
I'm really glad the wellness triangle came up there, because I've heard it, but I hadn't necessarily seen it. And I even love how lifestyle is at the base of the triangle and the oils are this tiny little like tip of the pyramid, instead of being, let me show you all my oils, right? We've joked about that inside my, my weird jacket. It's like oils are the next thing. There are choices that have to be made. There are nutritional options that need to be taken. I love that you talk about the toxin or the toxic burden that we're just perpetuating with some of our personal care choices. So it's like, and then the oils, right? Like it's all the things. And then that's so good for compliance. Those of you who've been with us a while and I don't know how to say, about Digize, it's like, well, good. Now you don't have to. Now you're going to talk about gut health, and you're going to talk about, all the things that need to happen in order for somebody to experience relief from some of those symptoms. So I love the wellness triangle. I don't know. We're catching on, right? We're catching on. Go girl.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It makes it so much more natural and so much more real. I'm so excited that I don't have to talk about Citrus Fresh anymore. if I'm being honest. I don't have to talk about Citrus Fresh anymore. And I won't be talking about Citrus Fresh because I like barely ever use it. So yeah, I am beyond excited, just like you are, Niccole, just like you are, Ange. It's going to be such a good change for our teams. I see enrollments going through the roof. It's just opening up so much. So any other questions for Niccole before we move on to the last little piece of the evening?
Real quick, y'all, I have, I think, 9 or 10 examples of the wellness triangle, and I'll get them over to Angela tonight and she can share with the group. Now that we've talked about it a little bit, sometimes like a flood of resources is overwhelming if you have no clue like what the context is for them. And I'll even share, it's a Canva template. So you can go in and you can change the colors and change the text in there. Those are my examples. Again, I want to encourage y'all to put your product recommendations, even your lifestyle tips into the triangle. It's just a really great way to kind of lay out and plan where it is you're going and what you're building on. So I'll get those over.
Well, and we can address that more on Friday during our call to everyone. Niccole, I did want to ask you about a link to the brochure, to Essentials, and to your store. Can you send that over too? And I'll do it as a full promotional post, because thank you for reminding us of your resource as well. You know, we've grabbed the Young Living one that comes in the starter kits right now is kind of a go-to for now, but I really love being able to direct people to something that's just laid out by somebody who's in the field. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Y'all, I love teaching this, and I hope it was helpful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being on, Niccole. Let's all give her a quiet round of applause, a muted round of applause. You're so awesome. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We appreciate you. Take care. All right, friends, wasn't that awesome? Are you guys super excited about this shift? It is going to be so good. I think it's going to re-energize a lot of people who maybe fell off a little bit, from building. I think it's the perfect time to bring people back, which is why we are extending the little giveaway, the iPad giveaway. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're gonna hear about it right now. But we are doing an iPad giveaway for somebody who has not built in the last year, meaning they haven't enrolled anybody in the last year. They've been kind of out of the business, but because you as their support team are reintroducing them to what's happening with Young Living, the exciting changes and shifts that are coming, if they choose to step back in, and by stepping back in, they're going to need to enroll in the summer hustle. That's kind of like their statement of like, all right, here we go, I'm back in. You're going to have them fill out a Google form that we have in the Brand Partners group, and they're going to say that you were the one that shared with them. And then we are going to randomly select somebody before our Friday morning call, guys. And on the Friday morning call, we will let you know who the 2 winners of that iPad are. So it's going to be one of the people that has come back, as well as the person who invited them to fill out that form or invited them back into the biz. So we're excited about that. So we were going to announce it on this call tonight, but we're like, okay, we're getting all the people, or a lot of the people who are doing Summer Hustle all together on this call. Let's give one last little push, and let's have, what is it, 4 more days? 4 more days that you can share with people on your team. Guys, this also works for brand new business builders. So if you have invited somebody into the business in this last month, like in the month of April, and they are doing the Summer Hustle, they can fill out that form too to win. Now we've opened up like the filling out of the form for everybody, because we're also doing just like some product credit giveaway too, just so we can kind of see where people are at. But the only people that can win the iPad are people who haven't been building for the last year, or brand new people from this month. And
I'm just going to throw in there too, you that are elite leaders, our silver and aboves, our thousandaire earners, every Thursday we've been posting the names of those people who have filled out the form already in our private elite leaders group. So if you have not accessed that, it's under the files section, because it's an Excel document or a CSV file. So it's easy for you to download to your computer and navigate and pull out the people that you want to reach out to. Andrea, I don't think we meant to do this, but we had this really great question in our form that says, I'm already signed up for Summer Hustle, or I need more info. Like, we didn't give them an option to say, I don't want to be contacted. So you as elite leaders have access to that. I had out of probably 25 people who filled it out, 5 people are signed up for Summer Hustle and 20 needed more info. So guess who was able to give it to them? Me. So I'm super, super, take advantage of this. Take advantage of the connections it's going to mean for your team. Make sure, especially brand partners who've been sleepy for a while, this may be really inspiring to them because they have a powerful story that needs to be shared. And maybe that's going to call out, this new system is going to call out their passion again for why they've chosen a lifestyle of health and wellness with Young Living products for the last however many years. I mean, it's really, really a perfect time for somebody to relaunch their business and really begin to build a bigger paycheck. So very exciting about that. But elite leaders do go and find that information so that you can give them the information they're looking for.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to take just about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to briefly go over how the points are earned during the Summer Hustle. All right. We chose to, if you've been to Summer Hustle before the last few years, there were only a few ways that you could earn points. What we chose to do this year was to base it off of our document that has all of the sections of what to do in this business. The name of that document is, and what is the name of the document?
Steps for Success. Steps for Success.
Oh, Steps for Success. Thank you. The Steps for Success document. So it's based off of that. So we basically looked at all of the different areas, like how to launch your business and how to invite and how to share and how to follow up and how to teach about the business, all of the different pieces of it. And we're giving points specifically in those categories because we know obviously this business grows based off of inviting people to take a look, actually meeting people, right? Like we have to continue to meet new people because if we don't, then our circle's going to run out. So the prospecting piece, the inviting piece, the presenting, the following up, the helping people get started, the sharing the business, all of those are important pieces to this business. So we wanted this hustle to be valuable to you if you were at the silver and above level and you've been doing this forever, or to the brand new person who comes in and is like, what are the different things that I do in this business? So that's why it's very, if you're in the group already and you've looked around this morning, we've been adding people today, and you looked at the post that I put in there yesterday, I give you every little thing that you're going to get a point for. Thanks, Yanj. And so what's beautiful about it is even if you have a month where you don't enroll anybody, based off of your other actions where you are following up with people on your team, you're getting to know new people, like all of those different categories, you're still going to be able to get points. All right. It's not going to be a failure if you didn't enroll anybody. Now, there are some categories where there's going to be more points. We're going to talk about the specific points and all of that stuff on the Friday morning call. But I just wanted to point this out to you so you could take a look at this week and see the different ways that you can earn points. Like, for example, wait, stop scrolling there. See where it says inviting at least 15 people to take a look at the products or business. So in any given month, you're going to get, I think we have it at 5 points or something like that. If you reach out to 15 people or more in that month, you get 5 points. If you reach out to less than that, you're just not getting points in that category. Obviously, it's still helping to build your business, but for the Summer Hustle, it needs to be at least 15 people in a month to get points for that category. All right. And then this is going to be basically everything each month is going to be the same in terms of points. There's like 1 or 2 little tweaks each month, but overall, this is what it's going to look like. And it's just going to be a Google form where you go and you click if you did each of the things. It'll be really, really simple. But what's beautiful about this is you could copy and paste this onto a Word doc and print it out and have it right by where you're doing your work every day. And so you're looking at that and you're like, okay, so what are the things I'm doing today? Ooh, did I get a class scheduled? Oh, I better do that. I need to have at least 1 class scheduled. Did I fill out my abundance tracker? It's the beginning of the month. Did I fill out my abundance tracker? Okay, check, let me get that. And you can kind of go through and use this as a checklist to get things done throughout the month. So super excited about how we've shifted some things this year. A couple other things that you'll notice. Last year we had daily live videos in the group. And we realized afterwards that perhaps that was a little overwhelming. Like, we wanted to give you content and we brought content, but it perhaps was a little overwhelming. So we backed that up just a little bit. And each week we're gonna have a Monday Mindset live within the group. That'll be around 9 a.m. Pacific time, give or take. That'll be every Monday. And then every Thursday, we're gonna have a topic that's related to like skills or habits that are important in this business. Okay, so there'll be a different speaker bringing that content each week. You're gonna get a wide variety of personalities, learning styles, all of that stuff. So you'll definitely connect with different people depending on who you are. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. We're also gonna be streaming our Friday morning coaching calls in every Friday. So instead of putting it into our brand partner group where we normally do, it'll go right into this group for you guys. And you actually, there's a point for that, for being part of the Friday morning call. So if you can't catch them live, I know some of you guys are already at work or whatever you have going on Friday, you can't be on those calls, we get that. But because it's streamed in, and they're just half hour, you can anytime throughout the week catch up on it, get the information that you're going to need, because we give a lot of details on those Friday morning calls about things coming up and important things not to miss, as well as some coaching, as well as some accountability, as well as some teaching, things like that. So that's that. Anything on that I'm missing, Ange, in terms of how oh, and then the other piece to know is just that group, it's kind of a free for all for you guys to ask questions, to post your wins. Like maybe you enrolled somebody for the first time in a few months and you're like, yay, I just enrolled somebody. Whatever, it's just gonna be a place for you to just have fun and to connect with other people who are doing that summer hustle. So we know that, we are officially starting this Saturday. Saturday is May 1st. And so you have 5 days right now, guys, to really promote this to your team. So if it were me, it would be a conversation about the shifts that are happening. It would be getting that Google Doc in front of them to win the iPad and saying, hey, let's do this. Let's link arms. Let's do this summer hustle. Let's have fun. And hey, the beauty of this is that we know that some of you are not the personalities that are like in it to win it. Okay. I get that. Some of you are like, if I don't go to the retreat, I'm okay. Like, it's okay. I just want to be there for like personal accountability and stuff like that. Some of you are in it to win it. You are going to be one of the 12 people that makes it to the summer hustle retreat. But I think the way that we have it worked out is that it's going to be beneficial to anybody. Doesn't matter why you're coming in, you're going to get out of it what you need to. Yeah. Anything else on that, Ange?
Can you tell us a little bit about the Summer Hustle Retreat for people who are brand new and don't understand maybe the allure of that?
Well, funny you should mention that. Okay, so this is where we're going to be staying. So the Summer Hustle is going to be September 10th through 12th in Arizona, Scottsdale, well, Paradise Valley, which is basically Scottsdale. Let me just show you guys a few quick pics. This is the place we're going to be staying at. So 12 people. There will be 5 people from the distributor to senior star rank. This is if you are coming in highest rank when you join. So like as of April, okay, because it starts May 1st. So as of April, whatever your highest rank has been in the past, that's what you are coming in as, all right? So distributor, star, senior star, there will be 5 of you that will earn a spot on the Summer Hustle, okay, based off of most points in those categories. And then executives, there will be 4 of you. And then silvers and above, there will be 3 of you, okay? So for a total of 12 participants. And we just have so much fun. This is one of my favorite events of the entire year because we're at a really cool location with great people. There's great conversation. We do little workshops. You'll be able to attend a number of little workshops while we're there. We also just have time built in for relaxation and just like chill time. And then we have really good food. So we will most likely go out to one meal and maybe have one meal catered in. And then, you know, the rest of the meals, we just get stuff from the grocery store and just enjoy time together. So that's how it works. It will start in the evening. It'll go the next day. And I think we have it's Friday to Sunday this time, I believe, whatever September 10th to 12th is. So I believe it's Friday night and then Saturday all day. And then it'll end Sunday morning after breakfast. And that's that. Angela, anything else we want to point to?
I had my kid walking through. I'm on a call. He said, you're on a call. Teenagers. Andrea, thanks for showing that. I'm glad you had that ready to go. That was perfect.
It's kind of like you have a triangle ready to go. It's like, bam.
I know, right? Well, you're right. We're used to it now. We just anticipate the next thing. Well, guys, these are all steps that we need to take to build our businesses. I had somebody ask me a month ago, can I just shadow you? And Andrea, I know you've had this question too. Can I just shadow you and see what you do in a day's time or in a week's time? Literally, the steps for success document, that list that Andrea just showed about what we're taking points for, that's what we do. Like day in and day out. Today, I was messaging people with unprocessed essential rewards orders. Some of you who are more organized than me do that every week. I do it once a month. But those are the actions that you do to be the leader that you would want to follow. I think the other thing I wanted to show you, a big thanks to Angie Hardison for her amazing work updating this document for us. We wanted something that you could print out, similar to what Cassie Jennings, you already said you printed out the list of point bullets, for what you can earn. But this is like literally something you would give a brand new business partner, a brand new brand partner, somebody who says, I want to grow my business, but I don't know the steps to take. Here's where you start. Here's some tangible next steps. Here's our system for success. Plug in. Right now, it happens to be the summer hustle. They can get into just the summer hustle for $39, or they can buy all three for $99. They just need to go to training.livingwellnow.com to get all the specifics on that. 1,000-Day Revolution will be in the fall, and then they're automatically signed up for next spring's business boot camp. We tried to make this really, really easy for people to plug into. Here's our power start. You do these things every single month. You set monthly goals. You make your subscribe to save order. You start with your stories, much like Niccole shared tonight. You go back to your list of people that you know and you evaluate on what's happening and who you're going to invite to what, and you get to classes. You can tell your success by the calendar that you keep. So Andrea, I remember a long time ago, being in a Rock Your Biz class, which is now 1,000-Day Revolution, and you said 4 to 6 classes per month with your invited guests is what kept you in momentum and kept your business growing. And those are tried and true, 7 exposure, multiple invitations, all the things. Those are multiple things that we've done to be successful. We're just passing it along to you. Then you move into preparing become a product of the product. Become a paid problem solver, or I liked how Niccole said tonight, be a connector to great products, right? Obviously invite people to take a look. You can invite them to product experiences and or business experiences every single week. You're doing this. Then we have little videos at the bottom too, you can click on. You go to share.
Can I just step in here and say this, that there's literally no excuse really to not have at least 4 classes on your calendar every month, because guess what? LWN does 4 classes every Wednesday. You don't even have to teach it. You could just invite to those 4 classes and there you go. And then you add in one of the business or 2 of the business classes that are right after that. That's 6 classes or 7 or 8 classes all on Wednesday nights that you could be inviting people to. Obviously,
Absolutely.
We want you to do some of your own as well, but know that that resource is there to invite to.
Yep. And that is exactly here, Andrea. It's perfect. You can select a presentation script or just a topic, kind of like Niccole talked about tonight, where your passions lie, and then duplicate that with your team, et cetera, et cetera. Same with business. We also want to teach you to equip your customers. All the steps to equip your customers is here, including teaching the Young Living lifestyle. There's that wellness triangle again, y'all. We've tried to make this super simple. The 10-page document. You can print it in black and white. It becomes your guide to doing this business every single week and every single month with the strategies that are going to push you ahead. How to equip your brand partners is here, including helping rank more stars, helping people get that silver bound bonus that started this month, making sure that they know what needs to happen so that they can qualify for it month after month. And then of course, the 1,000 Dare Habits. This is our leadership section. This is what separates people from executive to silver, is leading a sales team instead of just being part of a sales team, right? And taking personal development, attending and promoting different trainings and events that are coming up, much like we're talking about with Summer Hustle today. And of course, we wouldn't be anywhere without the movement of all of you to earn $1,000 or more in part-time hours by sharing passions and products that you love day after day with people that you care about. So again, super fun document, super easy, totally upgraded to make it very, very usable. You can get access to that in the 1,000 Dare Summer Hustle group that people were just getting added to today. Check your notifications. I also posted the link to the group in the Brand Partners group today, so you can link to it from there. If you're not on Facebook or you have members that aren't on Facebook, take down the information and email it. I just reached out to a woman today that's not doing Facebook and asked her which event she wanted information about so that I could send those to her personally. So do that work to help connect people wherever they are so that they can be as successful as they choose to be. Woo!
Woo! And so join us Friday morning, because we will really break down all of the points. So we make sure that everybody's really clear on everything. That'll also be streamed into the group if you can't come on live on Friday morning, but make sure you're there for that in some capacity. We're going to just leave this up for a second. So if you need to catch any of these links that Ange posted over in the chat,
I can copy and paste them in. Yeah, and I'll copy and paste them into. I'll copy and paste them into the Brand Partners live stream video too. I'll just bring all of those over.
Perfect.
Because there's a lot. We realize we're sending you all in like a million directions. So take it one at a time.
Go here, do this. Go. I know.
Well, and a lot of it, I will say, we have been pretty strategic. If you look at our announcements and Brand Partners, our pinned post is very clear. Our pinned posts have some really good information there for you.
All right.
We out.
Have a great week.
Thanks, everybody. See you Friday morning or Wednesday, whatever.